Didn't we just pass that? The question cut through the hum of the engine. Sarah leaned forward from the back seat, pressing her face against the window as the same peeling billboard slid by for the third time that night. A grinning waitress held up a slice of pie, its faded paint flaking beneath the words, "Exit 6, best diner in the county." "Yeah, we did," replied Jason, the driver. His hands clenched tighter on the wheel. "Except there hasn't been a damn exit." The highway stretched ahead, two pale lines of asphalt vanishing into the dark. Their headlights caught nothing but trees and the occasional mile marker. The radio had died an hour ago. GPS froze on a blank screen, and every phone showed no service. "We must have missed a turn," said Daniel, in the passenger seat. He pulled out his phone again, shaking it like the signal might return if he rattled it hard enough. "There's no way this road is that long." "Check the gas," Sarah whispered. Jason glanced down. The needle had dropped faster than it should have, hovering near empty. His stomach tightened. "We'll find a station. Just relax." But then they passed it again. The same warped billboard, the same waitress with the same painted smile. "Okay," Sarah snapped, her voice trembling. "I know that's the third time. I counted." Silence filled the car. Even the tires sounded strange, a low grinding as though the road itself stretched beneath them. Then Daniel straightened. "Look," he said, pointing out the windshield. A figure stood at the roadside, half lit by the beams. Too still, too pale. Jason's gut told him not to slow down, and he didn't. The figure blurred past, gone in an instant. Nobody spoke. 5 minutes later, Sarah gasped. "Oh my God," the same figure, standing again at the roadside, in the same posture, watching them pass. Jason's grip slipped on the wheel, sweat beading across his forehead. How? They sped on. Trees blurred. The billboard appeared again. "Exit 6, best diner in the county." And when Jason risked a glance in the rearview mirror, his stomach dropped. The figure was no longer standing at the roadside. It was in the middle of the highway, facing them, and it hadn't moved to get there. "Don't stop," Sarah hissed. Jason's knuckles whitened on the wheel as the figure slipped out of the headlights, swallowed by darkness behind them. His heart hammered so hard he barely heard his own words. "It's just some drifter, probably lost." "No," Daniel muttered. He had twisted in his seat, staring out the back window until the car's taillights faded into endless black. "No one moves that fast. No one." The highway stretched on, unbroken. The air inside the car felt thick, heavy, as if the vents had stopped working. Jason pressed harder on the accelerator. The speedometer crept toward 80. That was when the road sign appeared. White letters, clean, new, catching the glow of the headlights. "Exit 6, 2 miles. Relief surged through the car. Jason let out a shaky laugh. "Finally. Okay, we're fine. 2 miles, and we're out." But 2 miles passed, then 3, then 5. No exit, only more road, more trees, more silence. Then, up ahead, the same sign, "Exit 6, 2 miles." Sarah covered her mouth. "That's impossible." Jason gritted his teeth, eyes locked on the road. "Keep driving. It's a trick. It has to be." Daniel suddenly jerked upright, his voice strangled. "Jesus Christ, look." The figure was back, not at the roadside this time. It was standing in the middle of the lane. Jason swerved hard, tires shrieking against the asphalt. Sarah screamed as the car veered, the figure flashing in the headlights before vanishing into the dark. For a split second, Jason swore he saw its face. Pale, expressionless, eyes like black holes staring straight through the glass. The car straightened with a jolt. Gravel sprayed from the shoulder as Jason fought the wheel. Nobody breathed. Jason's hands shook violently, but he didn't slow down. He couldn't. They drove in silence until the sign appeared again. "Exit 6, 2 miles." This time Daniel began to laugh, a dry, cracked sound that made Sarah slap his arm. "Stop it, stop it." But Jason's eyes caught something in the rearview mirror. The figure, again. Except this time, it wasn't standing. It was walking down the middle of the road. And no matter how fast Jason pushed the car, it was keeping pace. The engine coughed once, then again. Jason slammed his foot on the accelerator, but the car lurched forward like something was dragging against it. The speedometer needle dropped. 70, 60, 40. No, no, no. Don't you dare, he muttered, slapping the dashboard. The headlights flickered. The radio, dead for hours, came alive in a burst of static, voices churning backward, impossible to understand. Then silence. The car rolled to a stop in the middle of the endless highway. Try again, Sarah shrieked. Jason twisted the key. Nothing, not even the click of a starter. Every dial on the dashboard was frozen, every light dark. Phones, Daniel snapped, fumbling for his. But when he tapped the screen, it didn't glow. Instead, a single white symbol pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat, a circle, broken in the center by a line. Sarah held up hers, eyes wide. The same symbol blinked on her screen. It's not a glitch, Daniel whispered. It's the same on all of them. Then Sarah froze. Her voice trembled. Look at the ground. The asphalt around the car was wet. No, not wet. Marked. Footprints. Dozens of them circling the car in tight loops. Bare feet, pressed deep into the tar, still glistening as if freshly made. Jason's breath caught. He checked the mirrors. Nothing. Just blackness stretching forever. We need to get out of here, Sarah whispered. We walk. Someone has to live near here. Someone has to. On foot. Are you insane? Jason snapped, but his voice was thin, desperate. Better than sitting here like bait. Daniel's hand was already on the door handle. His knuckles were bloodless. The night outside swallowed them whole as the doors creaked open. The air was colder than it should have been, sharp enough to sting their lungs. They clicked on flashlights, beams cutting narrow tunnels into the dark. The forest pressed in from both sides of the road, but there was no sound, no crickets, no wind, nothing. Just the slap of their shoes against asphalt and the faint, sticky echo of those barefoot prints fading behind them. Jason kept glancing back at the car. It looked wrong now, like it didn't belong to them anymore. And as they walked, the black figure was nowhere in sight, but Sarah swore she could hear it. Bare feet, pacing, always just one step behind. They walked for nearly an hour, flashlights bouncing across the cracked asphalt. Jason kept his eyes fixed forward, refusing to look behind him, though every part of him screamed that something was there. Keep moving, Daniel muttered, his voice hoarse. If we stop, it'll catch up. The road stretched straight, endless. No intersections, no driveways, not even a mile marker. Just trees pressing in on either side, black and skeletal. Then Sarah stopped dead. Wait, she whispered, that's our car. Jason nearly tripped as his beam fell ahead, onto a familiar shape resting at the roadside. The same dent in the bumper, the same rust along the fender. Their own vehicle, exactly as they'd left it. That's impossible, Jason snapped. We went straight. We didn't turn around. Daniel knelt down, shaking as he pulled a stub of chalk from his pocket. He marked the road with a jagged line. Fine, let's prove it. They set off again, this time faster. Sarah clutched Jason's arm, her breathing ragged. The silence of the woods pressed tighter, almost suffocating. 20 minutes later, Daniel's flashlight beam cut across the asphalt, and there it was. The chalk line. Fresh, unbroken. Jason's stomach dropped. No, we didn't. We couldn't have. Sarah clutched her head. We're walking in circles. We're trapped. But Daniel shook his head violently. No, we didn't turn around. The road is folding us back. He froze mid-sentence. Sarah turned. Where's Marcus? They spun their beams in frantic arcs, light slicing across empty asphalt. Marcus had been behind them only seconds ago, trudging silently, his camera hanging from his neck. Now he was gone. No sound, no cry, nothing. Marcus! Jason's shout tore through the night, swallowed instantly by the trees. The silence after was worse than an answer. Then Sarah's light caught something at the tree line, a shadow, tall and thin, sliding between the trunks. She choked on a scream, but when she aimed her flashlight fully, there was nothing. Only black bark and endless night. Don't stop, Daniel rasped, his voice trembling. That's what it wants. Jason's hands were shaking so badly the flashlight beam jittered across the asphalt. Behind them, faint and clear, came the sound of footsteps. Bare, slow, measured, and this time they weren't behind them, they were everywhere. The footsteps faded, swallowed by the silence. None of them dared to speak. They just kept moving. Faster now, almost running, until a glow appeared ahead. Neon. Sarah's breath hitched. Finally, someone's here. A squat roadside motel flickered into view, its sign sputtering in sickly pink and blue. Rest Easy Inn vacancy. The building hunched at the edge of the road like it had been waiting for them. They stumbled inside, the bell above the door jangling weakly. The air was stale, thick with mildew, but warm light spilled across worn carpets and peeling wallpaper. Behind the counter, a receptionist lifted her head and smiled. Jason froze, his stomach turned to ice. The woman behind the desk looked exactly like Sarah. Same hair, same eyes, the same freckle above her lip, but her smile stretched too wide, teeth too straight, eyes just a shade too glassy. "Welcome," she said. Her voice was Sarah's, but hollow, as if echoed down a long hallway. "You've been driving a long time." Sarah staggered back, shaking her head. No, that's not me." More figures appeared from the hallway, stepping into the light. Jason's breath caught as he saw himself, or rather something wearing his face. Its features were slightly off, as though remembered from a photo. Daniel's copy stood behind it, taller, thinner, his eyes like polished stone. Each doppelganger smiled, motionless. "You need to rest," Sarah's copy said softly. "The road is long. You can't walk it forever." Jason backed toward the door, his pulse screaming in his ears. "We're not staying here." The copies didn't move, but the room itself seemed to shrink, the walls pressing closer. The air grew heavier, thicker, as if the building itself wanted to hold them inside. Daniel grabbed Sarah's arm, dragging her toward the exit. "Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Just go." They burst back into the night air, the motel door slamming shut behind them. When Jason dared to glance back, the neon sign was gone. The building was gone. Only endless trees and the unbroken highway stretched behind them. And ahead the same asphalt road, straight, infinite, waiting. By the time they staggered back onto the highway, only 3 remained. Jason, Sarah, and Daniel trudged forward, their flashlights dimming with every step. The silence pressed on them like a weight. Even breathing felt wrong, too loud, as if the road itself was listening. "Keep walking," Daniel muttered, though his voice was barely more than a rasp. "There has to be an end. There has to be." But the road never changed. Mile after mile, the same cracked asphalt, the same skeletal trees, the same oppressive dark. Jason's legs burned. His chest heaved, but when he looked back, the motel still haunted his vision. Those copies, those glassy smiles. Then Sarah stopped. Her light swung ahead, catching something new. A sign. Jason's heart lurched. For the first time since the nightmare began, a different message glowed faintly white against the black. "Exit 6. You've arrived." The 3 of them broke into a run, shoes slapping the asphalt. The sign shimmered closer, growing brighter, promising an end. Jason's lungs screamed, but he forced himself forward. Faster, faster. Then the ground shifted beneath him. The asphalt rippled like water. His foot sank into it up to the ankle, then the knee. He screamed, clawing at the road, but the tar clung to him like quicksand, pulling him down. Daniel grabbed his arm, yanking, but the road's grip was stronger. Sarah shrieked, shining her dying flashlight across Jason's body as the black swallowed him up to the waist. The surface bubbled, sticky and hot. Jason's skin blistered where it touched. "Don't let go," he screamed. "Don't!" The road took him. In one horrible lurch, he was gone, the surface smoothing over as though he had never been there. Daniel and Sarah stumbled back, horror etched across their faces. But then the lights came. Headlights, bright and distant, cutting across the dark. A car, just like theirs, rolling slowly along the endless highway. Voices inside, laughing faintly, unaware. Sarah's flashlight sputtered and died. The last thing Jason saw before the black swallowed him was true. There was no way off this road. It did not end. It only waited for the next travelers.